This is the Ohio AgNet from the Voice You Know at the News You Trust studio, sponsored by BASF. Visit with your local ag retailer about 0% financing on all BASF crop protection, seed treatment, and Zetavo brand soybeans now through March 15th. I'm Ty Higgins. Farm Bureau County presidents from all over Ohio are in D.C. this week to visit with their senators and representatives face-to-face at our nation's capital. Powered by soy biodiesel, the Ohio AgNet is here and will broadcast from the trip at midday today with coverage brought to you by Ohio Farm Bureau. Then join the Ohio AgNet Monday as we get an update from Ohio Corn and Wheat about the great work being done to represent Ohio's grain farmers at the state and national levels. I mentioned that I'm in Washington, D.C., and yesterday leaders of county farm bureaus across Ohio heard from the leader of the American Farm Bureau Federation. Zippy Duvall swung by for breakfast and talked about how important it was for Ohio Farm Bureau members to be inside the Beltway this week.
You're the heartbeat of this organization, and without you, we don't accomplish our mission of being one united voice and really making sure that our voice is heard. We have great staff, they do great work. We just lay the roles out, y'all the one plant the crop. You know, until y'all show up in town, we just really don't get it done. Once you get here and you start talking our policy like we've been talking it day in and day out with your congressman and senator staff, it all becomes real. You bring reality to this town, and then the most powerful tool we have in our toolbox is your stories.
He also talked about his feelings for how things are going in D.C. these days.
I'm really excited but frustrated. I'm excited because there are several issues that we got right at the top, and all we need to do is push it over the ledge and get it done. And your appearance here this week is going to be part of that effort to push it over the edge and get it done.
One of the issues getting traction over the past couple of weeks is a new modernized farm bill.
We got more talk about a farm bill than we've had in 3 years. We got it through the House Agriculture Committee again with strong bipartisan support. There's no reason why we can't get this done. The reason we might not get it done is we all get tired and we back off, or we get busy planning. We get busy at home on our farms and we back off. I tell everybody, we as engaged county farm bureau leaders, when it get to a point where we're at in these 2 or 3 issues that I'm going to talk about, we need to be like your children going on vacation. When are we going to be there? And then tomorrow morning we're going to say, when are we going to do it? When are we going to get it done? What can I do to help you? Who do I need to call? Worry them to death.
President Duvall also talked about the push for year-round E15.
E15 is a no-brainer. It's a win for consumers. It's a win for farmers. And really and truly, it's a win for Congress. They can go back home and talk about it. They saved 25 to 90 cents a gallon for that consumer. And it's a win for this president.
And he offered these words of encouragement before Ohio Farm Bureau members headed to Capitol Hill.
Just remember, when you walk up on this hill, you're the most powerful person in our organization. It's not Zippy Duvall, it's you. You're the one that makes a difference. You're the one that's why they're there, and you're powerful. So I want you to go up there with confidence. Listen, that congressman or senator put their dress on and their pants on just like you and I did. They are no different. They don't know no more than you do. They know less about what you do than you do. So you need to go out there with confidence that we're going to get this done.
You can follow more of our coverage from the Ohio Farm Bureau County President's trip to Washington online now at ohioagnet.com. Let's check the forecast with Ryan Martin, brought to you by Seed Consultants, Simply Better Performance, online at seedconsultants.com.
Should see a mix of clouds and sunshine. The sun will help how it feels a little bit, but don't be deceived. It's going to be a cold day for sure. Strong north winds. We have a monster low trying to move out of the upper Midwest and across the Great Lakes for overnight tonight through tomorrow, and that's going to create some very gusty winds in northwest and north central parts of the state. I think we also have to look for cloud cover through the first part of the day in northern parts of Ohio. Clouds dissipate towards sunset, partly sunny skies in southern locations. The weekend, not as cold. A little bit warmer on Saturday with a mix of clouds and sunshine, and then Saturday night, a few hit and miss sprinkles as a warm front lifts through. Warmer Sunday ahead of our next frontal passage Sunday night through Monday midday. That front can bring us anywhere from 1/4 to 1.5 inches of rain, 100% coverage. Behind it, we're cold again for a few days, warming the end of next week. I'm Ryan Martin.
Ryan, thank you. Let's check in with our weekly update from the Ohio Soybean Council and your checkoff dollars at work. Here's Dusty Sonnenberg.
Joining me today is Greg Labarge with OSU Extension. Greg, Lake Erie, a popular topic folks like to talk about, maybe not so much in February and March when it's cold outside, but definitely as the weather starts to warm up. Folks like to get out there on the lake and enjoy it, and a lot of changes in the lake from where we were even about 10 years ago. It was a pretty hot topic, and a lot of fingers pointed at agriculture as far as issues with the lake, with algal blooms. Let's talk about where the lake's at now, though, because things have changed.
Yeah, I think the good thing is we have good news in that things are improving. Basically, what we're seeing with dissolved reactive phosphorus going into the lake, that it's down about 10%. Our goal is a 40% reduction, so we haven't gotten all the way to the goal yet. But with that, we've also seen where the organism itself, the cyanobacteria, that is the harmful algal bloom, that has decreased in intensity out on the lake. And the goal is 9 out of 10 years to have less than a 3. We could talk a lot about that, but it's just the ideal on a 0 to 10 scale that we want a 3. And at this point, we're 5 out of 10 years. So, hey, that's better than where we were in 2011, 2014, when things were so hefty out there on the lake as far as a harmful algal bloom situation.
My guest again today has been Greg Labarge. This update brought to us by the Ohio Soybean Council and your soybean checkoff.
Dusty, thank you. Get ready to see the future of farming. Join Ag Revolution for the Ohio Massey Ferguson Roadshow March 18th at the Pickaway County Fairgrounds in Circleville. Learn more and RSVP at agrev.com. Whether you're neck deep in cover crops or just getting started, there's a field day coming up for you. Allison Kinney has the details.
15 different cover crop plots will be discussed and analyzed by the host farmer and several expert presenters on March 20th. And the location is the Shirley Randall Horse Farm in Zanesville. The variety of cover crop plots were planted in early October. The field day provides an opportunity to see how different individual species and mixes are thriving, both their top growth and roots in early spring. Participants will learn about the benefits for erosion control, weed management, grazing, and soil health. You'll also learn about different ways to manage the cover crops, from spraying them early to planting grain. There's a various lineup of speakers along with farmers wanting to learn more about cover crops and no-till. Many NRCS and SWCD folks will participate. The field day is free, but you are asked to register ahead of time, and for more information and details, please visit ocj.com for the entire article and registration information. For the Ohio AgNet, I'm Allison Kinney reporting.
Allison, thank you. The Ohio AgNet continues after this.
Ohio farmers are excited about the approval of Striax dicamba herbicide for in-crop soybean use. For a limited time, B&B AgVantage in Conover, Ohio, are reopening cash discounts and financing on Asgrow soybeans. This is a fantastic opportunity to return to the proven yield performance of Asgrow soybeans and the strong weed control system of the XtendFlex system. Orders must be placed and paid for by March 13th. Contact B&B AgVantages for details at 937-368-3880.
Welcome back to the Ohio AgNet. I'm Ty Higgins. Did fungicide pay in 2025? Joe Everett has today's featured audio.
I'm visiting with Drake Copeland, Technical Service Manager for FMC. Let's talk about disease pressure and what did we learn from last year?
Well, last year there's two things that went on. There were areas that got hit with tar spot pretty bad, and then southern rust made an appearance in some states. And what we really learned was the benefit of a foliar fungicide last year. It really paid off where you did have disease pressure at that timing. For corn, when it was really, starting to dry down, you really saw the greening effect, et cetera, that we got out of that fungicide. So good year for fungicide use, but also you hate to see diseases like that come in and take over crops.
When we see the benefit of the fungicides, what kind of yields do you think you see on average gains?
Well, Mother Nature trumps everything. And there's been studies done through universities, and what we see is about 70% of the time you'll get a return on your investment when you utilize a fungicide. That other 30% of the time could depend on the hybrid you're using, the variety. Does it respond to fungicides, or does it already have a defensive mechanism within that plant, and that's not the least ability of the plant to actually outperform the disease and not get it. So there's several things that go into that, but what we usually see is that 70% of the time on yields you can see anything, like if you got bad tar spot pressure, you're seeing up to 40 bushel returns, and then in a general year we like to be around that 6 to 10 bushel return. That's kind of normal for a normal use. What will we get? Yeah.
Well, and when we talk fungicides, there's multiple ways of application. Can you talk about some of the products and what you guys see fit on those applications?
Yeah, so obviously the foliar timings has always been a big deal. We've heard for years and years that VT-R1 timing. I think with tar spot coming in, we do see some timing differences where guys will go a little bit later, just trying to extend the residual of that fungicide before the disease gets there. But a couple of years ago, probably 2021, we launched Xyway fungicide. So this is one that we could use at planting. And basically, it's very systemic and has a long residual. So the plant's taking it up and you're getting that disease control on gray leaf spot, northern corn leaf blight, etc. That's setting you up for a nice timing if tar spot or southern rust comes in. One thing that we learned over the last 2 or 3 years, not everybody is set up to put up Xyway at planting with their liquid fertilizer. So in my area, the Mid-South, a lot of those guys are putting on fertilizer side dress. So they're either doing it with a wide drop rig or a knife rig. They're putting it in then. And so we've done about 40 on-farm trials utilizing Xyway in that side dress application. And we're getting about an 8.3 bushel response compared to a non-treated check. So about this similar to what we talked about earlier, what you get out of the foliar fungicide. But it's kind of opened the door, giving guys options. You're already going across the field with that nitrogen pass. Hey, throw a fungicide in there, be proactive, because this thing will control diseases. And if those late season diseases come in, tar spot or southern rust, it buys you time to make a well-timed foliar pass. That's the beauty of Xyway.
And as we talk about fungicides, let's talk about this coming year. Any advice or anything we've learned from last year that you'd like to see implemented going into this growing season?
Well, I think when you look at, growers understand their fields, and we understand that, things over winter, gray leaf spot, northern corn leaf blight, tar spot also over winter. So if you're in a situation where you're corn on corn, I would anticipate if the environment's right, you'll probably see tar spot again. Obviously, crop rotation could play into that. But I know, like I mentioned earlier, we did get a pretty good run with southern rust. I think the main thing, our researchers with the Crop Protection Network do such a good job of monitoring where diseases are. So going into 2026, plan for those diseases that you always encounter that rob from yield, but also look at what the Crop Protection Network's doing and just kind of follow the disease trend. You can kind of expect the unexpected by following that. Otherwise, you'll kind of be cut off guard and then you're late. So there's a lot of resources you can use when you're thinking about your fungicide program.
Well, thank you. I've been visiting with Drake Copeland with FMC, and I'm Joe Everett for the Ohio AgNet reporting.
Thank you, Joe. Markets are next on the Ohio AgNet.
Looking for heavy equipment but don't know where to buy? Purple Wave Auction has you covered. Always online and always no reserve. It's your destination for construction or ag equipment ready to work. We even sell semis, trailers, and fleet equipment for your operation. Best part? It's free to join. Head to purplewave.com. That's purplewave.com. Sign up for a free account and start bidding today. Purple Wave Auction, the easiest and most straightforward way to buy and sell equipment.
Welcome back to the Ohio AgNet. I'm Ty Higgins, and today's market analysis is brought to you by Louis Dreyfus Company. Excited to bring a brand new soybean crush facility to Upper Sandusky. Learn more about marketing your soybeans with LDC at 574-566-2113. Here's Ryan Martin.
Grain markets finished sharply higher, led by soybeans, and it was all about rumors and headlines once again. The wag of the crude oil tail was really in the marketplace yesterday. After word that the Strait of Hormuz was being closed down by Iran, there was some back and forth on this back on a Tuesday, but yesterday it seemed like the world thought that the Strait of Hormuz was closing again, or at least going to have trouble getting things through. That gave the crude oil market a little bit of a bump, and uncertainty about when it reopens really hit the grain side. Soy oil was the upside leader yesterday. Rumors are persisting there that EPA will reallocate 75% of its small refinery exemptions, with the RVO being at 5.6 billion RIN gallons. Traders wonder if the RVO could have been leaked. There's no idea at this point, but it was a very interesting day on rumors in the marketplace yesterday. I'm Ryan Martin.
Ryan, thank you. This check of the market's brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance. Online at seedconsultants.com. March corn up 4 1/4 overnight, 448.5. May 463 a bushel, up 2 3/4. No change for March beans at $12.50. The May 9 cents higher at $12.23 a bushel, and wheat for July up 4 1/2 at $6.10 1/4. April live cattle yesterday down 222 at 230. 340.15. April feeders 340.30 down 637, and April lean hogs yesterday down 87 points at 95.20. For the Ohio AgNet, I'm Ty Higgins. We'll see you down the road.